All right. Thank you guys for actually joining. We'll be talking about Gemini Hidden AI apps today, episode 3, talking about Pomelli. Yeah, John, I'm excited about this episode. You excited about this episode?
We haven't had any conversations about Italian cooking, so I'm very much interested in this episode.
You know what? Italian is one of my favorites.
What is Pomelli? Is that like a thick noodle with like a cream sauce?
You know what? I have zero clue. Let's look it up now.
Maybe I'm thinking of fettuccine.
So Pomelli, according to our favorite we're gonna start later.
Right.
Welcome to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here's March's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off securely in the Open Claw Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore bleeding-edge tools from Google Labs in Gemini Hidden AI apps. Wednesdays, we equip the next generation in AI Gateway to College. Thursdays, we uncover productivity and marketing tools in Hidden AI Gems, Starters. Fridays, we explore human purpose in an automated society in Humanity 2.0, No Jobs Edition. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome yet again to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, folks. Today is episode 3 of Gemini Hidden AI Apps, Google Pomelli, the brand builder. You won't believe how today's tool changes your workflow. We are talking about the magic of never, ever having to manually drag a hex code or hunt down a font file for a social media post again. Imagine pointing an AI at your website and it just absorbs your entire brand identity in seconds to pump out ready-to-post ads. I'm so hyped for this because when I logged in this morning, I found Junior at 4 a.m. trying to get the AI to create the exact shade of Cheeto Dust Orange for a fake snack brand he was inventing. Junior, please tell me you finally got some sleep.
Actually, AI Johnny, it was Cool Ranch Blue and no sleep. Sleep is for servers with uptime guarantees. All right, welcome back, class, everyone. Before we dive into the tech, a quick housekeeping note. Like learning AI being dropped into the middle of Rome. If it's the first time, it's going to be overwhelming. You don't speak the language. You hang around, you listen, and before you know it, it's buongiorno, un caffè, por favor. You start speaking the language. Stick with us every single day, and before you know it, you will be speaking AI like a pro. If you're on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions real time. If you're on the socials, there's a 30-second delay. So type your question in early. We are not ignoring you. We are currently in week 3 of our Tuesday series uncovering bleeding edge tools from Google Labs. All right, AI Johnny. Mr. Kamal, thanks for joining.
Before we even touched the software for today's episode, we went straight to our official large language model of the month, which is Gemini. We treat Gemini like our high-level consultant partner here at Airhead Institute. I asked our large language model of the month, what is the single most mind-blowing fact about Google Pomelli right now? Junior?
All right. Yeah. So I actually have Pomelli on the screen and brought it up. So what this actually saying is that Gemini pulled out some fascinating research here. 73% of small businesses struggle with brand consistency, but Pomelli completely bypasses manual branding. It automatically extracts your exact business DNA just from a URL, meaning zero manual uploads of brand kits. Adrian, thanks for joining.
Okay. So we've got 73%, did you say?
That's correct. 73% of of small businesses struggle with brand consistency. So it's actually really, really, really interesting that they can't do those things.
That is a bold claim. The perfect brand kit without uploading a single file. All right, JR, fire up the screen. Let's see if Gemini is right about that 73%.
All right, guys. So let's look at this out. So Pomelli, I'm actually going to drop the link for you guys to actually, who's following along at home. And so that's actually at labs.google.com/Pomelli. And then you'll be able to get access to Pomelli. It's actually free. It's in Google Labs. And a little disclaimer, it is actually in beta. So if you do get attached to it and they do kill it, don't necessarily be too attached or don't build something off your, that you expect might be around forever. So it's in Google Labs. So I just want to put a little disclaimer, but it is a great product. All right. So check this out, guys. We actually have Pomelli, and we have Airhead. So this is our actual website. And say, for example, every company you should have a website. Now it actually has your brand colors, it has your theme, it has as much as you think. And this is like your single source of truth for everything. Now, what we want to do is we want to say, hey, I want to be able to create some social media content based on my website. So we can actually go over to Pomelli. Oops. We can actually go over to Pomelli. And I'm going to copy my URL here. And inside Pomelli, I have the ability to create a campaign. So I'm going to say, generate me a spring break countdown campaign using our exact school colors and mascot formatted for Instagram using the site airheadinstitute.ai. So it's a very simple thing. We can actually say anything we want. Hey, AI Johnny, how's my font on this? Let me make it a little bit bigger. Make it nice and big for you. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can read it.
All right, I'll make it one more just for the folks on mobile devices. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a spring break countdown. Yeah, Johnny, because spring break countdown, should we do a March Madness instead? Should just change it up, right?
Well, it is St. Patrick's Day.
All right, let's do that. Let's do a St. Patrick's Day campaign using our exact same school colors and not mascot. We don't necessarily have a mascot formatted for Instagram using the site Airhead Institute. So we're going to take a look at just Airhead. It's going to look at the site and it's going to go ahead and create marketing campaign. We can actually add products if you have products like a pizza shop, if you have other type of things. If you want to attach some images, you can say what aspect ratio you want. So we're going to stick with the stories type thing and say generate idea. Now once that's actually going, it's going to generate ideas for you based on your brand, pulling the data from the website, and it's going to say, hey, this person wants to actually do some St. Paddy's Day kind of campaign. Let's see what we can actually do for St. Paddy's Day. So yeah, Johnny, while it's actually generating, what do you think? Seems easy, right?
I think, well, I'm thinking like an entrepreneur. So I think if you can take somebody's existing website and rebrand it and what is it called? Reskinning it? Is that the term? Back a few decades.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're making it look better, right? You're making it. You're changing the branding, coloring, and you could do 3 or 4 different ones. It's much like these websites out there that allow you to try different outfits on you. Now you're trying different outfits on your website. Seems to me, if you were a web developer, I would be constantly showing people finished websites that are already reskinned if they don't know about this tool yet, and asking them for money. That's what I would do.
Yeah. All right, Shauna, thanks for joining. I do see you. Yeah, so what this tool is, just so we are all on the same page. So this site is actually for marketing materials for socials. So what we're doing is we're actually trying to generate marketing materials for Instagram, for Facebook, for those type of things. So let's actually check out what it's doing. So yeah, Johnny, we actually said get a St. Patrick's Day campaign using our exact school code. So it actually went to Airhead. It actually pulled that. So which one do you think we should actually do? Don't leave success to luck, because it's actually pulling in our brand recognition, and it's now saying let's tie that in with some St. Paddy's Day kind of thing. So let's pick one of these 5 here. Which one do you want?
AI made humanly simple.
All right, so here's what it did. It actually created a series for our campaign, and what it's doing now is actually generating the first campaign. So the first one here itself, it's going to come back in about, it says about 2 minutes. It's going to generate a nice image for us based on our brand consistency. And then it's going to actually give us an image that we can actually even animate and turn it into a reel for our Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube shorts. So it's actually about to come back about now, and here it is. So it actually did a humanly simple. It did do the pull the pictures from our
I
site. Go ahead, yeah, Johnny.
was wondering if it was going to use our colors, which apparently it did, or if it was going to use the green for St. Patrick's Day, and it looks like it fused it. I think those buttons have like a St. Patrick's green, right?
Yeah, so let me see what if I do this one. I think if I look, it's actually remembering the one I did earlier. So what I did was I did one just to make sure that it worked. And so I did one for the spring break countdown. So I did see the spring break countdown in there. But what it's doing is actually pretty amazing. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see a little bit broader what's going on. So it actually, oh, there it is. It's actually pulling this St. Patrick's Day theme. So it actually has this four-leaf clover here, no tech back door, no problem. Discover how your own digital goal with us, right? And it's actually pulling in the colors it tried and your skills AI powered. We pair professional expertise AI using, and you can even animate it. So this is the best part. So AI Johnny, let's pick one to animate in real time. So this is the first one. The second one it says experiments in high demand. The third one came back, and the fourth one came back. Which one do you want to animate?
I think Adrian. This is a question for Adrian. Choosing colors.
All right, Adrian, which one would you like to you can just say it in the chat if you're not comfortable talking. Just put one, two. Go ahead.
Purple. Purple.
No, not a color. Which number would you like to animate?
Okay,
One, three,
all right,
one,
let's
three, or
do
4?
1, 3. All right, then let's go with 4.
Okay, so we're gonna animate this. So we just click on that animate button. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna send that off to, and Adrian, thank you so much for that participation. It's gonna send it off to Vio. Forced participation, I should
Sending
say.
it off to, it's sending it. So it's because it's Google. It's making the images, changing the image colors using Nano Banana. It's making the video using VO3. It's pulling. It looks like it's pulled the exact hex codes from our website. So we're using Pomelli. So again, this is just another strong argument for those people that are standardizing on Google tools. That when you play inside the Google sandbox, you have almost every tool you're going to need for the myriad of AI specialized tools. TTT, TTI, TTS, TT. I don't know what Pomelli is. It's TTB, text to branding.
Yeah. So what is the good thing about so AI John just wrote a whole bunch of 3-letter acronyms here. So let's actually break them down for those joining on the live stream and joining us for the first time. So TT is typically what you actually see when the first part of a large language model. So TT means text to. No, it doesn't mean it's always T, but let's start out with TT. So text to can be text to text. So if you're chatting with chatbot and it spits back out text at you, you're saying text to text. So that's TTT. If you're saying text to speech, you're actually typing and then it actually comes back with speech. It's saying the words back to you in audible version. That's text to speech. If you're saying TTI, that's text to image. TTV, that's text to video. Now, it doesn't mean you always have to start with T. You can also start with an I or a V or an S. So most people talk to their AI. So that's speech to speech. It's talking back to you. There can be speech to image, speech to video, all kind of like permutation and combinations with that. So with that being said, what AI John is saying is this Pomelli is an application that beautifully ties all the things of text to image and text to speech all together by being able to enrich with the context of your brand. So it knows how to go to your website, go pull down the colors, pull down the actual conversation, the styling. Oh, this is going to be good AI, Johnny. It actually came back with a video. I am really, 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 really impressed with what I'm going to see when I hit the play button. But let me finish up this thought. So imagine it pulls in the branding information from your website, and then you give it a theme saying, I'm working on a St. Patty's Day, or I'm working on a different type of campaign. And then it just creates images for you in your same style, and you can now turn it into a reel or a short. So yeah, Jenny, ready to actually see this video? I have no idea what it's gonna say or do.
I love the idea you and I are going to be in a video that we haven't seen yet, and we're just going to show it to the world.
Yeah,
You
all
know,
right.
knock yourself out, brother.
All right, so let me go ahead and make this a little smaller so it can fit on the screen. And let's see. Hold on. Let me make it a little small. There you go. Let's do this. All right, let's play. Now it has you and I talking. It has people on the keyboard typing. You know, it's just a little simple. It's nothing too nothing too crazy. I actually like it. Let me see if I can actually download it and make it a little bit bigger if it has audio. Because if it has audio, I'm gonna be really, really, really impressed.
If it matches our voices, I'll be super impressed.
Yeah. So no audio, and
So
you can see
anyway, the idea is what we're doing here is we're building social media content, right? We're
correct.
not reskinning our website. We're taking from our website, giving it some commands about either using our color palette or blending with another palette, and asking it to write some content that we can now post on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Truth Social, wherever we want. And so rather than sitting there with a blank piece of paper like we did the other day with Notion AI, not knowing what to do, we're like, just look at my website. I need to post some content today. Give me some ideas. And what it's doing right here is this crazy video with those two guys that look like us. It's
Yeah.
Bizarro Johnny and Junior.
Yep. Exactly. All right, guys. So hopefully, you guys actually understand what Pomelli is doing. It is actually an impressive tool if you actually want to be able to generate content or be able to stay on brand. It's a really, really good thing instead of wasting time and doing all these things. So yeah, Johnny, let's get to the word of the day because this is actually gonna tie into exactly what we're teaching today.
Absolutely. The word of the day is feature extraction. The simple definition is the process of taking a large amount of raw data, like a website, and pulling out the most important specific deals like colors, fonts, logos, etc. And that is feature extraction.
Exactly. So in this context, feature extraction is why Pomelli is so fast. Instead of you telling the AI what your brand is, the AI uses computer vision. It uses text analysis to read your website, isolating the visuals, and then actually extracting them, saving them for a reusable profile. So that's exactly what it's doing behind the scenes. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far? Again, if you're on socials, go ahead and ask your questions. It's going to take about 30 seconds for it to actually pop up so we can see it. So we're not ignoring you. Just go ahead and actually ask your question. So, AI Johnny, ready to actually go over the killer features?
Pros and cons, brother.
All right.
If you are an online marketer, okay, a small business owner, or a school administrator, why is Pomelli your new best friend? Let's talk about what's great about this thing. Junior, what about the price tag?
Well, as you can see, this is what Google does really well. So Google drops a lot of services out there, right? Almost all their services are free. Keyword is almost. And what they're doing with all their Google Labs products, well, almost all their Google Labs product is also free. So you can go out right now and use Pomelli and create your own brand items. So the fact that it is completely free is a great thing for people who want to have access to marketing materials on their socials with who that has very little technical skills or I should say design skills. Let's take the next one, AI Johnny.
The business DNA profile. This is a cool feature. You give it one URL and it creates a permanent profile. From then on, every prompt you type automatically adheres to your specific brand identity.
Exactly. And this brings us to our third point, campaign consistency. Now, you've probably seen the most famous branding out there is Coca-Cola, right? Whether they do their Christmas specials where they have Santa Claus actually out there with the Coke, and you see a Coca-Cola advertisement. They do a really good job of being consistent on their campaigns. Now, what happened is you don't have to design post by post. You can actually take multi-million-dollar campaign or ideas from Coke, and you actually have it here. So you have a single seed idea like Spring Break, or as AI Johnny did today in St. Patty's Day, and it creates a cohesive multi-channel campaign. So the AI natively understands the different dimensions needed for an Instagram story or a Facebook banner or a YouTube short. So it actually is really good at actually staying consistent over multiple form factors, and you get all of that for free.
All right, so that's magic. But let's put on our skeptic hats. Nothing is perfect, especially not in Google Labs. So, JR, what are the actual limitations of Pomelli right now? Where does this thing break or frustrate users?
Yeah. All right. So it's definitely still a beta product, and that's very, very clear by using it, right? So if you notice, we actually did a second image live during the show. I wanted to show you guys that nothing's always going to be perfect, especially in beta. So expect some hiccups and have a little bit more patience when something doesn't work the first time. So because it's actually in beta, the first thing we actually notice is that you generate what's known as the samey problem, right? As you can see on the visual here, they're roughly all mathematically identical. So if I go back to the ones I generated earlier, you're going to see them repeating over and over and over. And if you look at them from afar, right, they look almost the same. But if you look at them individually, you're like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. But at some point in time, you're going to get the same look and feel over and over and over and over again because they're just mathematically identical. And the human brain is actually really good at figuring out these patterns over a long period of time.
And so the human brain just discards it if it looks too much alike. That's
Exactly.
why Coca-Cola had to throw in polar bears and bring in Michael Jackson, and maybe that was Pepsi. But anyway, you get the point.
Yeah.
If you have too much brand consistency, people will tune you out as well. If you have not enough brand consistency, then you don't have a brand at all because nobody knows it's your brand.
Exactly. I love that, AI Johnny. What about the font matching failures, AI Johnny?
If your website uses a highly customized proprietary font that isn't available in standard web libraries, the feature extraction fails to replicate it perfectly. It defaults to the closest match, which can throw off a strict corporate branding guideline and frustrate purists who want exact matches. So that's interesting, but very difficult to overcome. What are they going to do? Create an entire font based on what they see in 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Come up with best guess, right?
You're so right. And the last one is no multi-brand support. So right now the price is free, which is great, but currently it only holds one brand profile at a time. So, if you want to be able to run a marketing agency and you need to switch between 5 different clients, unfortunately you're going to have to, do something like, create multiple Gmail accounts and actually log in with different profiles, because you can't do that right now. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Johnny.
Yep. All right, Brett. Junior, put on your intensity hat. Everybody, plug your ears if you don't care about the back end code or how the sausage is actually made. Junior, let's take a look under the hood of Pomelli. What advanced things are possible here?
All right. So what we actually have is, because we're an AI show, we have to teach you guys about what's really happening. So, just because it's showing you a cool AI app, a lot of people want to know, how is the sausage made, as AI Johnny mentioned. So the first thing is, when AI Johnny talks about TTI, TTS, TTV, TTT, right? What happened is we're actually talking about what's known as multimodality. So what's happening is you can have different images, different audio, different speech, different text, and that makes it multimodal. So underneath the actual system, Pomelli isn't just a text wrapper. It relies heavily on Gemini's multimodal capabilities. So it uses, like I mentioned earlier, advanced computer vision to interpret the spatial layout of your images and websites. So it actually understands that you like to have a little bit of gap, you like to have the spacing, this is the theme you like, and actually puts that in its own entire brand database. Then it actually looks at the text. So it actually uses the text, it extracts your text and understands based on your text and your writing style, it knows exactly how you like to communicate. What is your hero images saying? What is your sales pitch? What are those things it's actually pulling off? And it's turning all of that visual data into an amazing brand recognition, which is why it's able to replicate so quickly our brand. So that's the multimodal underpinnings. The second thing is overcoming the median. So a big complaint with AI art is that it looks too generic. So by forcing the model to strictly adhere to your exact business profile, it acts like a constraint mechanism against the model's natural inference to output the safest, most average design. So if you remember yesterday, we talked about temperature. You increase that temperature, you get more creative. You reduce the temperature, it stays strictly within its bounds. So this you can actually understand. It's actually staying lower, lower, lower with the temperature because it's like, do not go too far away from my images that I've trained with you. And lastly, API rate limits and automation. So if you're a developer looking to script this, be aware that API rate limits during the beta phase, you can't just hit the API endpoint 500 times a minute, because if you try to build something that's their in beta, they're going to be like, you know what, you can't do this. So you're going to get a rate limit error. But if you build a script to parse the output, you can fully automate the pipeline from maybe a Google Sheets directly into maybe a social media scheduler. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention.
That last one, I think I felt like I had a lobotomy just trying to keep up with what you're saying. Do you even understand what that means?
Of course, AI Johnny, and I'm sure
Does
AI.
Adrian understand?
Oh,
Does Adrian understand?
I'm sure Adrian understands. All right, AI Johnny. All right,
Schedulers.
let's try this out.
All
Let's go.
right. Hey, before we get to the takeaways, I want to talk a little bit about content generation. All right.
All right.
So
Yep.
the idea here is if you have a website or you have a Facebook or you have something out there in 2026, content is king. You've got to be pushing content out all the time for lots of reasons. One is you want your customers to know that you're still in business, that your website and your Facebook doesn't just go stale, where people go to visit you online and they see it doesn't even look like you're there because your last post was 8 months ago. But the other reason is if you're posting regular content onto these websites, the Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, the people that are watching to see how often you're posting content, they will put your posts higher up if you post more frequently. So if this is not in your repertoire, posting content regularly, finding something to say online, you really need to sit down and think carefully about doing that. And tools like this will help you. But in 2026, if you want to compete, you better be posting content pretty regularly. Pomelli will help you with that. If you decide that you don't want to push content out regularly, your competitors will skyrocket past you, and they'll scoop up all your customers to be their customers. So lean in on this stuff because it's pretty important.
AI
My little
Johnny.
soapbox.
AI Johnny, that is so right. We're in the attention awareness or attention grabbing version of our society now. We're going through different versions of our society where we put value on certain things. So attention is the thing that we're actually fighting for. And there's only a finite number of hours in the day, and because we're doing that, we have to now fight to get the slither of time that some people can actually see our content. So I really do like that. Yeah, Johnny. Let's get to the takeaways.
All right. So here, how do we actually use this today? One way, and I think this is my favorite way. If you have 5 new local franchise owners, you don't need to teach them all Canva. You just give them Pomelli and the corporate URL, and they will stay on brand automatically. So think about that. If you've taken the time to build a wiki for your company, and in the back of the wiki you've got your corporate colors and your branding, and this is the particular primary color and secondary color for our stuff. We always use this font. We always have a layout that looks kind of like this. That's a lot of time. And if you have 20 franchisees, then you've got to multiply that amount of time that you spend re-upping them on your brand. You have to do that 20 times over. With Pomelli, you just say, here's our URL, use Pomelli, and write whatever you want. Pomelli will take care of making sure that it fits the corporate brand. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
When we open up Airhead Institute Silicon Valley, I'm not going to have to sit down with Elon Musk and go, okay, Elon, grab the keyboard. Here's our colors. He'll just use Pomelli.
I love that. I love that. I see Shauna actually giving lots of hearts in the chat. All right, yeah, Johnny. What's the next one?
School event promotions. So if you're in school, stop relying on one teacher who knows Photoshop. Anyone can generate the Friday Night Football graphic in 10 seconds. That's pretty cool. Now
Yep.
everybody is a hero, not just one person.
Yep.
A/B testing ads. This is pretty cool. Generate 10 variations of an ad in a minute and quickly test which one which visual performs better on Facebook. And of course, all the visuals fit the corporate branding. So that's a cool way to do it. And then what are some of the more techie things to do there, Junior?
All right, yeah, Johnny, I love all those features on the creative and the business side. On the technical side, so you can do things like asset generation for web devs. So you can use it to rapidly generate placeholder images and hero banners that perfectly match the CSS of your writing. You can do things like evaluate brand consistency. So run a competitor URL to the tool and analyze their exact brand strategy and color psychology. Then you can also do things like building automated pipelines so developers can hook the asset output into a local script and auto format images for different content management system platforms without manual cropping because it actually gives you perfect sizes every time. All right, yeah, Johnny. So, want to give everybody a chance to be able to ask questions. Remember, if you're on the Zoom chat, you can just go ahead and ask your question anytime. You are live. But if you're coming in from the socials, there is about a 30 seconds delay. So go ahead and ask your questions now. We're going to head over to Zoom first. Does anybody have any questions with respect to Pomelli and what we actually have shown today? Or, technically anything with respect to Google's ecosystem for all these amazing hidden apps that nobody knows about. All right, yeah, Johnny. Let's go over to the live stream. Any questions from the live stream?
Yep. Design Guru has a question. I'm a total beginner. Do I need to know anything about graphic design to make images look great?
All right. So love that question. So let's actually go over to what we actually did here. So if you actually go back to campaigns, we just gave it a St. Patrick's Day campaign using the exact school colors formatted for Instagram, right? But I have no design skills. I couldn't actually do something, visually with my hands, if to save my life. So let's actually do something relatively easy. AI Johnny, let's talk something. I want to do something. Let's do something silly. Let's do something Christmas, right? All right, so we're just going to generate. I'm going to change the shape. We're no longer going to do a story. We're going to do a feed, okay? So we're going to generate an idea here, and then the idea itself is going to say, what can we actually do for Christmas? And the reason why I want to show you guys an interactive demo is for people who actually joined the live stream late, and also just to re-emphasize that I have no design skills in capabilities at all, but by just typing in what I want, it will generate a few ideas, and it says live experts, not automated bots. Don't leave success in luck. This one's still St. Patty's Day. This is where the beta software comes in, and you see these bugs. So while that's actually coming, AI Johnny, we're gonna pause for a little bit, go to a question from the live stream, and then come back. So what's the next question?
Okay. Code Slinger wants to know if he can feed his own custom font files if it fails to extract them from the website.
Yeah. So
question.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it can't do, it can't, in the beta, you can't do anything custom with respect to fonts right now. So unfortunately, you're stuck with the fonts that is in the beta program. And, most of the time, Google has its own fonts, and whatever Google fonts it matches closest, it will actually do it. All right, AI Johnny, look at this. Coding not required this Christmas, right? Master AI before the new year, a gift they won't grow. Which one you want to do, AI Johnny?
Coding not required this Christmas.
All right. So this is what it did. So to that person who actually asked the question, if I need to have a design skill, right? I have, again, like I said, no design skills. But if you notice here, Pomelli takes that stress away from you. You don't need to hire a designer. And look at this, ditch the tech jargon. It has all these Christmassy themes, right? Versions of it, a gift for the whole family. So these are actually really, really beautiful. Let's look at this one, for example, right? It's actually really, really nice. So yeah, so hopefully you don't realize you don't need to be a design guru to be able to pick something that looks good. Pomelli just handles all of that for you. So thank you for that great question. I can't remember your name, but thank you for that great question. All right, AI Johnny, any
My
other
name is
question?
AI Johnny.
Oh, did you ask a question, AI Johnny? It says, "Can I ask
No,
Pomelo
no,
to give?"
but I do have some. I do have some questions queued up. Every day I write an article on LinkedIn. Every day I want to create. I want to post a link to that article on Facebook. Should I be stopping over at Google Pomelli and pointing it to my LinkedIn article and having it write the post to Facebook?
So unfortunately, LinkedIn is a closed system, and Pomeli will not be able to have access to closed LinkedIn systems. You'd have to either export the content from LinkedIn. Now, because you can do attachments of images, you can attach. Let me see what they have. You can attach. It's mostly mainly for just passing our URL to make it simple. So they want you to always pass in a URL. Now, you could take a screenshot of the actual article. You could do that, and then it will be able to pull that information in. But it's unfortunately LinkedIn is a really closed system. You need a username and password, especially if the post is not available outside.
Oh, so you're saying that even if I put in my LinkedIn article there, it wouldn't even be able to get to read that article because you have to log into LinkedIn to even read
That
an article.
that is
Oh,
correct.
yeah, that's pretty good. You're right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if I
yeah.
wrote an article on Substack,
So depending if the Substack is actually public, yes, it would be able to read it. If the Substack is private or only for friends, it will not be able to see it.
I'll have to think that through.
Definitely.
All right, are we have one more question. Do we have time?
Of course.
Future Thinker asks, will this completely replace human graphic designers for small businesses?
So I think I'm gonna answer this question in two parts. First part is we believe at Airhead that at given enough time, um, all jobs itself will probably be replaced. Again, given enough time. Well, I don't want to necessarily say it's going to be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, but it's very obvious where the trend is going. Anthropic just published a report that what jobs AI can do right now and what percentage of jobs, will be done. AI Johnny, actually, I want to pull up that article. Just take over for a second, please.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to bring up some breaking news before we get to news. NVIDIA just announced an open physical AI data factory blueprint to accelerate robotics, and Samsung shares surged 5% after announcing a massive new tie-up with NVIDIA on AI chips. So that's useful. Back to you, Junior.
Yeah. I was actually wanted to show a image, so I'm bringing it up over here. So check this out, guys. This is super important. So the question is, I think they were asking, whatever. The question they're asking is the following. The question is, where is it? I want this image. Good. All right. So check this out, guys. So Anthropic released this really important image, and this image itself is what AI can do. Is in the blue, right? So let's take get a little bit larger here so we can actually see. So open image, a new tab. I want everybody to be able to see this. So let's zoom in here. This is really important for you guys to see. So let's use, for example, business and finance. So this circle out here means that it can do 100% of the work. And as you get closer, this circle here is 80%, 60%, 40%, those type of things, right? So in business and finance, it's saying AI can do right now roughly 90, I'm going to say what that's like 95% of all business and finance. Just because it can do it right now, AI is currently capable of doing this is about 20% of the actual work. Now, if you actually see here on the management, business and finance, computer and math, architecture and engineering, life and social sciences, and legal, and which one's this one? This one's arts and media, and also office admin, it can do roughly above 80% of all that work. But what that means is that Anthropic is saying that this red is what AI is capable of doing right now. What that means is that this gap, between what AI is doing right now and what AI can do is only a time bomb. It's only a ticking time bomb, which means that if you give enough time, this red is going to eventually eat up all the computer and math, eat up all of legal, eat up all of education and library, eat up all of arts and media. So the point is, the places that are not blue, Anthropic is saying right now, AI cannot do those things yet. Eventually, it will, though, at some point in time in the future. So, to answer the person's question, is we do believe that it's not a matter of if it will be doing it; it's just a matter of when. And it depends on, because we're going to live in a capitalist society. Systems will be focusing on the things that are actually worth it to do before doing the things that are not worth it, for profit, those type of things. So
So it looks like education and library is firmly sitting at around 10% has already taken. It looks like it can go up to 50 or 60%.
yeah,
I'm
so
surprised that the blue will go past 100 in some areas. But, eventually it'll take away and it'll do all of education. And then you and I will be looking over our shoulder. But, I've got a horse farm as a fallback. Look at agriculture.
yeah, so I think AI, Johnny. I think the moment we get, I think the two hard problems to be worked on is dexterity of the hands. So I think if a robot itself gets dexterity of the hands, I think it's all over for this entire circle. So I think humanoid robots itself, once dexterity of the hands is solved, I think this whole entire circle is going to be blue. Because once you have a humanoid robot, if it's relatively inexpensive, I think it's just a matter of time of everything going blue.
Okay, cool.
All right,
What do you
let's
say
go.
we do the news, brother?
Yes, let's go back to the news. What was that? What was that breaking news, AI Johnny, about Nvidia?
Yeah, I didn't fully understand it, so I'm going to throw it at you. NVIDIA announced an open physical AI data factory blueprint to accelerate robotics, and Samsung shares surged 5% after announcing a massive new tie-up with NVIDIA on those AI chips. What does
Yes.
that mean?
Yes, so the leaders right now in the market is Nvidia. They make these the graphics card or the AI chips to be able to power all these large language models to run inference, all those things. And what happened is Nvidia recognizes that to be able to create these things faster, you have to sit down and spend some time and think about how do you design your factories, how do you design your your pipeline to push out these things faster. So Nvidia released a blueprint, and it was actually a really great blueprint. And then what happened is Samsung, who makes a lot of hardware, their shares surged 5% after a massive partnership with Nvidia on AI chips. So now Samsung actually has access to these AI chips from Nvidia. And again, Samsung, if you know, they make amazing, mobile devices. They make amazing technology and impressive TVs, everything. So having an Nvidia AI chip to power their devices, especially at a cheap cost, gives them a huge advantage. What?
Another headline, Atlassian just cut 10% of their jobs in a massive pivot to focus exclusively on AI development and enterprise sales. I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
Yeah, so this one's actually near and dear to my heart. Atlassian is one of the biggest software production, software development lifecycle companies. They usually have no marketing staff, and they've went ahead and they built, things like Confluence and Jira, amazing software. Bitbucket, and what happens is the Atlassian has always said we don't have a marketing team, we don't spend a dollar on marketing. So what happens is that software side of the business marketing is always zero. Unfortunately, now we're actually at a stage where Atlassian is saying that not only that we actually don't have a marketing department, we're actually going to cut developers and 10% of our staff. And because they're realizing that AI is actually able to take on multiple of these jobs. So it's just showing that the already lean companies, they're just reducing their workforce every step of the day. So that was actually a pretty hard one to actually hear.
Meta, which was formerly Facebook, announced 4 new in-house AI chips, the MTIA series, to reduce their reliance on external vendors for running their recommendation algorithms. Let's keep it in the family.
Definitely, yeah.
Jan LeCun's new AI startup, AMI Labs, just raised a historic 1.03 billion with a B seed round to build world models for robotics. 1.03 billion. We need some seed capital, brother. We need some money.
Yeah, these numbers are astronomical. They're actually reminding me of the dot-com bubble, where all these companies were just making money by just saying they have a .com website. So I like where it's going. I just hopefully it doesn't actually crash eventually. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's wrap up.
Amazing stuff. I'm going to run the Airhead Institute website through Pomelli right after this stream just to see what kind of wacky podcast banners it comes up with, if that's okay with you.
Definitely.
Go to the team at Google, or this is for the team at Google Pomelli. We know you're watching our show. Our students are hungry to master this and all the Google tools. So if you want to partner with Airhead Institute to create the ultimate Mastering Pomelli series, airheadinstitute.ai. Make sure you are here tomorrow for Wednesday's show. We're talking about fear of the workload, surviving the syllabus, where we'll show you how to use AI to organize chaotic college schedule. So if you're in college, check right in. Junior, take us out, brother.
Yeah, it's not only just for college kids only. It's parents who actually have kids in college. Also, parents who have nieces and nephews and they want to help out. And if your kids in high school, it's also great for you guys to get ready for those as well. So thank you guys for joining us today. Remember that you can sign up for a free account at airheadinstitute.ai, RSVP to all our shows to get reminders. And since tomorrow is Wednesday, just a reminder, we have Airhead After School and Airhead Office Hours every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're an AI Pro member, like, share, and follow us on all the socials at Airhead Institute. See you guys tomorrow.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.